If you've watched any of my previous videos, you know that I do not shy away from talking about topics, especially something of this nature, where I have a firm stance that of the early onset exposure negative effects that would occur to a child that is viewing online adult material, adult videos that I can't say the actual name of. I'm going to be very vague when I'm explaining these things because guess what? YouTube doesn't even allow it. But the elementary library does. Unbelievable. Let's get into this right off the rip. There's a lot of books, especially in my city, that are being up for challenge at the moment. There's people that are protesting and making sure that their voices are heard because they don't want little kids, like their children, to be going to school, to be going to the library and accidentally picking out or looking up one of the books that have to do with teaching kids how to perform intercourse, or and get really, really nasty and gritty in the most extreme kinds of types of intercourse and positions and the nasty things that they do that can pass around a bunch of STDs. They don't shy away from any of it, and they actually teach kids how to do it with graphical images that are drawn out images. Parents are more than upset because not only are they trying their best to make sure that their kids are not watching this types of material online on their iPads, on their phones, or whatever it may be. They're putting up all these parental controls. They're trying their best to make sure that this society isn't infiltrating them with their nasty hypersexualized agendas. And now when they send their kid off to school for the 7 hours of the day that where at least they know that they're going to be safe, they're not safe actually. Now it's seeping its way into the libraries. And if it's going to get into the libraries, trust me, it's not going to stop there. So let's actually get into the books and find out what they're teaching the kids. It really can't be, it really is that bad. It's so bad, actually, I had to blur out the entire screen because it's talking about things that I can't even talk about as a 21-year-old on YouTube. I'm going to explain what I'm looking at right now. It's a intercourse position of two people doing it, yeah, on a bed that is drawn out. It's just like drawn out by like pen and paper. I can't show this because this video will get age restricted. I'll probably even lose my entire YouTube channel for showing what they're showing to little kids in school and calling it sexual education. So at the end of this book, there is a cheat sheet section where it teaches you about all of the nasty, erotic, explicit terms that I myself actually just learned from reading this book as a 21-year-old. They have extreme definitions of things that if you were to do, you would either die, catch a really, really bad disease, or end up in a hospital for an extremely long time. It talks about a shower. I can't say the full name of this term. It's an extreme like fantasy that some people do. It's really, really like next level scary, borderline. Let's talk about this one. Rim. Oh my God, I can't even say the full word. Oh my God. It talks about eating. Oh my God. Oh my God. This one is so bad. This one is so bad. If I say it, I don't think this video would even be up on YouTube anymore. It talks about consuming the waste. I swear to God. I swear, that's literally what it's explaining right here. How about this on page 90 where it says, there's nothing wrong with having multiple partners. If all partners are honest, open, and safe about their lifestyle choices, it makes no difference how many sexual partners you have. But don't go picking on someone else's patch. Oh, God forbid you go cheat on somebody. Let's continue reading. By the way, it's teaching kids. It's teaching kids to be more promiscuous and to have more partners and to get freaky with as many people as they possibly can. There's nothing wrong with it because it feels good. And as long as no one's lying, you're honest, open, and safe, you should be okay. And this is an extremely dangerous piece of advice to be telling people, not only adults, but to kids especially. Let's continue on this, not only for their own mental health, but for their physical health as well, because not everybody's honest, open, and safe, if we're being honest. Let's continue. It's about choices. I believe everyone should be able to live the way they want to live as long as they don't hurt anyone else or themselves, in capital, in the process. You can choose to be promiscuous or you can choose not to be. Okay, there's a lot of flaws in this ideology. Let's start breaking them down one by one, because if you want to get into philosophy, homie, we're going to get into philosophy, no problem. As long as you don't hurt anyone else or yourself. Now, unfortunately, a lot of people kind of accept this as just true. They're taught it in school. This is the basic of like liberalism. This is called the harm principle. But this is, let's say, version 2 of the harm principle made by John Stuart Mill, where they added actually their own. This person added their own, where they said, you don't hurt anyone else or yourself. Now, this is a problematic statement for the person even writing this book, because if you really mean what you say about not hurting anybody or yourself, then smoking should be banned. Drinking should also be banned because you're hurting yourself and the smoke in the air is hurting somebody else, right? Or drinking because you're hurting yourself and the way that you might act in public is hurting somebody else. Even if you don't, it's still hurting you, right? So all of these negative things that we do on a daily basis, including all of the things that were taught in this book, all of the extreme erotic fantasies that were taught in this book, actually could hurt you. So all of this advice kind of contradicts itself, because you'll eventually hurt yourself if you continue to follow it. So who are you, let's just for the sake of argument, who are you to tell me that I can't drink or I can't smoke? This is my liberty. This is my freedom. Are you infringing on my liberty as a human being? What if I want to get drunk maybe once every 4 or 5 weeks? Who are you to stop me? It's my choice and I want to do it. Let's say you were going to the original harm principle made by John Stuart Mill himself, then you would have to assume that, let's say for an example, cheating isn't wrong unless the partner finds out, right? Because the only time that cheating can hurt is if the partner finds out, they become heartbroken, they find out that this person this entire time was actually cheating on them. Now we're getting into more of the flaws that don't really make sense. Or let's say, for an example, if a brother and sister really want to have fun, if you know what I mean, right? Then according to your own logic and your own principles, there's absolutely nothing wrong with this because they're not hurting anyone else or themselves. It's fun. They're practicing it safely. And they can play as much Fortnite, I have to use kind of filler words, as they want because it's not hurting anybody. So according to your own logic, that's entirely subjective. By the way, you're making an objective claim as if morality is a fact, but you're getting your morality from yourself, which is different for every single person across the entire world. So you can't even make this argument to begin with. It's filled with flaws. Okay, now for an example, this one teaches you how to arouse. I have to actually blur this entire figure out. How to arouse the male body. Talks about the lips, kissing. Oh my God, I can't even say the rest of this. It talks about what to do with certain parts of the body. It talks about how, oh my God. It talks about which parts of the body would feel nice if you touch them. Oh my, bro, this is actual child grooming inside of the school books. How'd this even get in the library? Any part of your body will respond to being I can't say this on YouTube. Let's go on to the next book, which is another version of child grooming. We're on, I think this is a chapter talking about having fun with yourself, just by yourself. It talks about that it's perfectly normal, actually, that when you get these feelings, it's not a bad thing, but it's a good thing, and you should actually act on it. This is teaching children that they should be doing it with themselves, and there's nothing wrong with it. It says literally in this book, some people think that masturbation is wrong or harmful, and some religions call masturbation a sin. But masturbating cannot hurt you, and it does not result in pregnancy or getting or passing on infections that are spread by sexual contact. This book talks about boys, girls, teenagers, and grown-ups too. So it even addresses little boys and girls, teenagers, and grown-ups. It's addressing all people, and it says that experience sexy feelings when they... Oh my God. It says what doing it to yourself is, and then it says because it feels good. So it explains what it is to do it by yourself, and then it explains because it feels good. So this book is telling you that it feels good. This is a positive thing. It's talking to little kids. The very, very next line says, some people think that masturbation is wrong or harmful, and some religions call masturbation a sin. But masturbating cannot hurt you, and it does not result in pregnancy or in getting or passing on infections that are spread by sexual contact. So it's telling you why it's actually not a bad thing, and it's not going to hurt you. So it's giving you the open door that, hey, maybe you should do it because, hey, it feels good and it's not going to hurt you. This is what you're teaching to kids. This is a book, actually, that we had to fight to get out of the schools. I don't know how it even got into the schools. They call this sexual education. It's like an umbrella term that they hide this under it. If we're being totally honest, this is pornography, and this is also illegal. Let's pull up the actual laws of the state of Michigan to see what parts of it do call it illegal. We see right here, I have the page already preloaded. We see section 722-675, where it says disseminating, exhibiting, or displaying sexually explicit matter to minors. This is, by the way, illegal in the state of Michigan. Disseminating sexually explicit matter to a minor is a felony punishable by imprisonment for not more than 2 years or a fine of not more than $10,000 or both. Part of this law says, for an example, the passive sexual involvement means an act, real or simulated, that exposes another person to or draws another person's attention to an act of sexual intercourse, erotic fondling, masturbation, sexual excitement, or erotic nudity, which is exactly what we saw in this book. This book is saying on page 83, it says, and I quote, basically, porn is fine and fun, but it is in no way real. You can't tell children that this is fine and fun. This is actually against the law. to be soliciting and to be showing and teaching kids that they should be watching erotic content under the age of 18. So now as we see that parents in my city are outraged, they have little brothers, sisters, nieces, nephews, and kids that are going to schools where they thought that school out of all places would be finally the safe haven where they don't have to worry about it, they don't have to be breathing down their neck to make sure that they're not on any bad sites online. School's going to take care of them, when in reality, school is not going to take care of them. I don't know how this is even up for debate, but children should not have access to pornography. It's that simple. And not, let alone little books that have drawings teaching them how to perform extremely dangerous, risky acts, glorifying them, making them seem cool, grooming children, and then teaching them that, hey, not only is that all fun, but watching it online is actually fun and fine. How is this even how are we even talking about this? How is this even up for debate? Parents, I'm sorry. This is the challenge that you have in life, because I don't know how to solve it. Usually I have a solution at the end of all my videos, and this video, there is no solution. That's the end of this video. Holy shit. Please comment down below something that we can do to protect our children from viewing this explicit 18 plus stuff in their 7-year-old libraries. I don't know how to end this video. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, bro.